What's up, guys? Welcome back. We have an interesting free play for you today. It is a chalkboard six-man parlay that is 30x your payout. It's rare that we do parlays. We have found a system that is actually profitable long-term. Obviously, all these that we send out are long shots. The percentage we hit these mathematically is about 4.5, but the unit gain is over 40 a year. So it's a no-brainer for us to do it. I'll run you through the math here in a second. But this is the play. It is on chalkboard. Make sure to use our code, which is CLV, and you get an 100% deposit match. It's a no-brainer. Use the free play and throw it on these plays. We have a bunch of them every day. But once again, code CLV gets you a 100% deposit match. So definitely utilize this. This is the slip for today. We always do a max cash because if you do a shield play, the pay decreases, drops significantly. So as you can see, 5 correct would only pay out 3x. 4 correct gives you half your money back. It's not worth it in the long run. So we do the max cashes, which is 6 correct. This is the play. So Juan Soto, they gave us basically not a free line, but they gave us a cut line. This is way steeper on other books. So we're getting a good price on Juan Soto hits. Gleyber Torres over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Brady Singer over 2.5 earned runs. Giancarlo Stanton over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. And then the back half of this slip is Jeimer Candelario over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, and Spencer Steer over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. So now I'm going to get into why this is profitable. So if you hit 54% of your props long term and you only run 5 and 6-man correlated player prop slips like this, they did a study where it was 1,000 people did it. This was typed into an algorithm by a third-party source, but 1,000 people did it. 635 came out profitable. That is hitting props at individual props at 54%. My record or my percentage for the 3 years that I've been doing player props is actually 57.5%. It is one of the better things that I do in terms of sports betting is my hit rate on player props. So I figured, this is a no-brainer for me. But why not do 2-man or 3-man or 4-man? Well, the 6-man actually has a longer or a higher ROI over term as opposed to a 3-man and a 4-man or a 2-man. Same with the shield plays. The ROI over the long run with 5 and 6-mans, max cashes as always, is actually higher by about a 13% ROI. Once again, assuming you're hitting props at 54.5%. So the math behind all these is we will hit one of these slips. Obviously, the payouts will differ about 4.5% of the time. And if we do that, we will be extremely, extremely profitable. Now, let me tell you the strategy I take when doing this. So obviously, if you can't tell, these are correlated. So number one, I like the over in the Yankees and the Royals game. So that's why I took 4 picks in that game here. Juan Soto hits, didn't play yesterday. He's rested. This is just an insanely good line for the juice. They're cutting it. That means the scissor emoji. So we're getting a better line than every sportsbook. We're parlaying that with Gleyber Torres over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, and Giancarlo Stanton over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Now, Soto and Giancarlo didn't play yesterday. They're typically together in the lineup. Soto usually 2, Stanton usually 4, or 3 and 4. So they have a good chance, if this game goes over, to hit their hits, runs, RBIs together because they're grouped in the lineup. Now, obviously, if this game goes under, they're going to have an unlikely time hitting this, but the point is to try and get correlation because you have a higher chance of hitting a group of props. This is also correlated with Brady Singer over 2.5 earned runs. If these guys hit this line, they hit their RBIs, they hit their hits and runs, Brady Singer is probably going to go over 2.5 earned runs as well. So it's all correlated based on the fact that the weather in this game is wind blowing out to left field. There's I think it's like a 20% increase in home runs. I'll have to double check that. And I like the over at 9.5. So that's why I'm running those 4 props. Similarly, in the Cincinnati game against the Guardians, I also like the over in that game as well. And these 2 guys hit back-to-back in the lineup. So it's the same thing, correlation, 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. It's correlated, and that's why I like it here. But we'll dive into the numbers a little bit. So starting lineup today, as you can see, Spencer Steer, Jeimer Candelario, 3 and 4 in the lineup, just like I talked about. Correlation there. The Yankees lineup has not officially been released, but I'm assuming both Stanton and Soto are going to be playing next to each other in the lineup because they both didn't play yesterday. So the same goes there in terms of correlation in the lineup. And then we look at the game simulations here. So we are going down to the Guardians game. As you can see, Great American Ballpark, there's a plus 9% chance in runs just based on the weather. I'll pull up the weather stat there. Give me 1 second here. I will get to the park factors here. So as you can see, Great American Ballpark has the highest increase in home runs today just based on the weather blowing out to right and left. Both Steer and Candelario are home run hitting guys. They have a lot of power, a lot of pop in their bats, and they've both been playing well recently. So I think they should have a relatively easy time hitting that line. And then we go over to Kauffman Stadium. It is third in terms of hitting conditions today in the MLB. Decrease in home runs, primarily because the wind is actually blowing out to left field. That is the harder part to hit home runs in Kansas City. But increase in hits. So that hits, runs, RBI prop. That's why I like it grouped together, because we do see an increase in hits. Then we look at the matchup. So these are all the Yankees hitters against Brady Singer. These percentages are increases in green and decreases in red. So like I said, because that wind's blowing out to left field, we're seeing a decrease in home runs. The extra base hits and the hits are through the roof. I mean, we have, especially on the two guys that we have, or the three guys we have, Juan Soto, 38% increase in extra base hits. Where are the other two? Gleyber Torres, 27% increase in extra base hits, 42% increase in singles. And then Giancarlo Stanton, 24% increase in extra base hits and an increase in singles as well. Just because of the matchup they're going against, Brady Singer, his expected ERA is through the roof. A lot of guys have been making solid contact against him, and he's due for some negative regression. Same over here with Tristan McKenzie. This is the opposite side of the spectrum. So he's giving up a lot of home runs because it's actually blowing out to right field in Cincinnati at the Great American Ballpark. But a decrease in all others because he's an off-speed guy, and the Reds struggle to hit off-speed. But this home run factor here for these two guys that have a ton of pop in their bat, as you can see, Spencer Steer here, 46% chance increase in home runs, and Jeimer Candelario, 34%. I like these two as opposed to some of these guys like Stuart Fairchild, who has 127% increase. Just because they're grouped in the lineup, they're hitting 3 and 4, so it's more likely that there's guys on base when they get up to the plate. And then last but not least, we'll get into Brady Singer's stats a little bit here. But as you can see, his expected ERA is 4.5, whereas his actual ERA is only 2.76, so due for some serious regression, along with the expected batting average of .265. And these numbers, the Yankees should be able to exploit. They have a very potent offense. They've been firing on all cylinders. So that is the basic breakdown of why I like this six-man. Obviously, it is a long shot at the end of the day, but over time, we're going to hit some of these, and they're going to pay, and we are going to make a profit long term. That's your breakdown. Best luck as always. See you in the next one.